All right, welcome back, brothers and sisters. We have got something we've got to get out very quickly because a rogue U.S. district attorney just dropped a letter and a motion in a suppressor case that makes some very bad determinations and possibly at the worst time on the planet. The deep state be striking back. So we're going to make sure that we share this everywhere because in light of the passage that we just saw in the House, guys, this timing is poor, and this is a rogue U.S. attorney underneath the DOJ, okay? This is really crucial. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing, but you need to be aware of what they just dropped about 20 minutes ago. All right, this is coming from one of my sources. I've got everything linked in the description box below per usual. And guys, if you are new here or you're not, just make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on because this is that important time and information where we need to be subscribed. Make sure YouTube didn't unsubscribe you in their censorship algorithm. Make sure you're following me on X at Braden LOA and you like and share these videos because this is the battle for some rights and we are looking real good. Had some calls today that you guys are going to hear all about next week and into the weeks prior. Following, but right now, the U.S. Attorney at the DOJ just dropped a subversive suppressor motion that you guys need to know about. All right, we're going to dive right into it because it's Friday night and you guys need to know this information because they tried to sneak this one under you. All right, so audio, video is good, 5x5, excellent, here we go. Well, guys, this is actually not switchboard related, so hold on, I got to show you what they just did. So, as I mentioned before, follow me at Braden LOA. This is how we distribute this information separately from YouTube. At Braden LOA on X. But let's get into the actual issue, then I'll show you the document. So, this is from the American Suppressor Association. This is a new ruling, and I'm going to show you a new motion that the DOJ just dropped from a U.S. attorney. Very similar, but from what we've seen before, but let me show you. While we applaud the DOJ's acknowledgement that suppressors are protected by the Second Amendment, it's clear there is still much work to be done aligning career DOJ prosecutors with President Trump's strong position in favor of Second Amendment rights. This is the whole point. As I lay this out and show you what they're saying, this is Biden holdover. This is career politicians. This is career prosecutors. They've done this 3 separate times underneath Bondi and the DOJ, and each time they've come in and said, yeah, no, they were tripping. All right, let me continue. ASA, or the American Suppressor Association, will not stop until the entire DOJ recognizes the simple fact that suppressors, like car mufflers, are far more useful to law-abiding Americans than to criminals. All right. That than to criminals part is really important in this document that I'm about to show you. So let me get this in here because this is really the key point. So let me hide this. Hold on. All right. So this is coming from the DOJ. And as you can see right there, this is filed 5/23/2025. It was about an hour ago, maybe half an hour ago. This is in the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. This is the Peterson case, okay? I'm going to basically just highlight as I go because I can't really highlight these in the same way, hence the horrible crayon that I'm got right here for you. So let me just read what they just said in this motion, okay? The United States of America, under federal rule of appellate procedure, blah, 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 in the Fifth Circuit, blah, 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 moves for leave to file a supplemental response to defendant appellate George Peterson's petition for rehearing en banc. On February 6, 2025, the court affirmed Peterson's convictions for possession of an unregistered suppressor. The timing is interesting on that, isn't it? Isn't it weird that you would have this pass the House where it became, we basically outmaneuvered the gun controllers, and then a day later, they come out with this motion in a case that's pending already? Isn't that weird? It's weird. I think it's weird. Anyway, let's continue. And held that suppressors are not arms protected by the Second Amendment. Again, this is an entire process that we're going through. Let me show you a few of these highlights. The government now seeks leave to file a supplemental response to Peterson's petition stating its position. As explained more fully in its supplemental response, the government's view, and this is the important part, is that the Second Amendment protects firearm accessories and components such as suppressors. There should be nothing after that sentence, but there is. As a result, restrictions on the possession of suppressors burden the right to bear arms, and a ban on the possession of suppressors or other similar accessories would be unconstitutional. Okay, we're grinding until the brakes get on right here. However, that's a fancy but. The National Firearm Act registration and taxation requirement is constitutional because it imposes a modest burden on a firearm accessory that is consistent with the nation's historical tradition, Bruin decision, because suppressors are specifically adaptable to criminal misuse. Thus, the panel correctly affirmed Peterson's conviction. Rehearing en banc is unwarranted, but panel rehearing is appropriate to correct the panel opinion's analysis. Again, I'm going to show you this and then come back to that. This is the acting United States attorney. We have seen 3 acting United States attorneys since Trump's inauguration do this exact same bullshit. And every time, the DOJ has come in and filed an additional motion and said, yeah, nah, they were tripping. So now let me get back to what they're saying up in here, because this is really important for you guys to see, and the timing cannot be overstated. A day after it passes the House, they come out here and say, it's okay because criminals use them. Yeah, I'm sure that's a coincidence. Anyway, let's continue here. All about the registration and taxation requirement, it's constitutional. You can't tax a right. In the beginning of this, and that's Supreme Court precedent, in the beginning of this, it literally says, as explained more fully in its supplemental response, the government's view is the Second Amendment protects firearm accessories and components such as suppressors. It literally says you can't do it. But you can tax a right? No. Try taxing the right to vote. How about the right to free speech? Let's just keep on going down the examples. It's not going to work. It's not going to fly. As American Suppressor Association put in the tweet that I just showed you, or the post, however you want to call it, it doesn't make sense in any face, except when you take into consideration the timing and the fact that it's not the Bondi or Harmeet Dillon at the DOJ top, it's a United States attorney doing this. Guys, you're looking at career prosecutors here. Let's continue though. I got a few more crayon drawn out portions here. This is really important for you guys to send out. If you're just now tuning in, the Empire is striking back with some of its career prosecutors. Sorry, let me just bear with me while I get to the other crayon sections here, and then we'll kind of recap. They're down here. I just don't want to make you guys sick. That's why I'm going kind of slow. But they're taxing the right is perfectly fine, but accessory suppressor banning is not. Anyway, let's continue. The Act's restriction, now we're talking about the NFA. The Act's restrictions on suppressors also resemble historical laws in how they burden the right to bear arms. It even openly says they know it burdens the right, and it's similar in how it does it. The Act imposes only a minor burden on the right of armed self-defense. It regulates non-essential firearm accessories, so the burden on the Second Amendment is less severe than a taxation or registration requirement applicable to weapons or essential components themselves. So it's okay to infringe a little bit, but not a lot of it. See, it's okay to tax you on things that aren't essential, even though that's a subjective opinion, because I would say suppressors are essential. But that doesn't matter what I say. I'm just a guy talking on the internet, and you're just at home watching. So your opinions don't matter. I'm the U.S. attorney, so I know. You can tax a right, even though it is protected by the Second Amendment, but it's okay to tax it because it doesn't infringe it a lot of it, only a little bit. So therefore, we're all good, right? Nope, we're not all good. Bondi, Harmeet Dillon, get in here. You people acting a fool again. And again, I'd like to highlight the timing. Let's continue. Those burdens are comparable to the burdens imposed by historical laws taxing weapons that pose a special danger of misuse. These people right here. So all of a sudden, magically, right after the House passes the suppressor repeal from the NFA, now all of a sudden, suppressors are a unique and special threat that criminals all use them. So it's okay if you tax them, so then the criminals still get them, but as long as you tax them, they're not going to be criminals. The level of stupid that this is, again, same guy. Let's continue. You guys need to send this stuff out. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on X at Braden LOA for this conclusion, and I'm going to show you the same person. For the foregoing reasons, this court should grant panel rehearing and hold that the National Firearms Act regulations on suppressors burden the right to bear arms. Shouldn't that be a problem by itself? I mean, that's it. They burden the right to bear arms. This is not hard. It says shall not be infringed. It doesn't say shall be infringed only a little bit. Anyway, but, you know what they say about but, everything before doesn't matter, that the Act's modest burden is consistent with the principles underlying the Second Amendment. Michael M. Simpson, Acting United States Attorney. Again, I want to be real clear. This is not Pamela Bondi. This is not Harmeet Dillon. This is not the head of the DOJ. This is a U.S. acting attorney. Okay, this is one of those professional prosecutors who has done this now 3 times in different motions and different submissions to the courts around infringements on the Second Amendment right. And in all 3 cases prior, they have been dealt a backhand by Bondi and her uppers. Every single time. But I do find it very fascinating that the interesting timing of this, right after the House passes the full-on deregulation of suppressors, they drop this little gem, which gives, oh my God, criminals brought up in the conversation, even though there is no evidence of criminals misusing suppressors for any type of crime, because it's idiotic. Guys, if you thought the fight was over, it is not. The deep state is striking right back. No, don't worry. We're going to handle this. We handled all the other ones. We will handle this one. But you guys have to send this out because, as the other post right here states, while we applaud the DOJ's acknowledgement that suppressors are protected by the Second Amendment, it's clear there is still much work to be done aligning career DOJ prosecutors with President Trump's strong position in favor of the Second Amendment rights. We are dealing with swamp creatures right here who have the power of a pen, and Bondi and Harmeet Dillon have about 4 or 5 days to issue another motion that says, yeah, never mind, we were kidding. Now, it probably will happen, but if you're just tuning in, you're watching the Deep State Strike Back on a Friday night, snuck under the radar. Make sure you send this out. Follow me at Braden LOA. Tag me at Braden LOA. Tag whoever you want. Make sure I hear you so I can re-amplify it. Because the more that we spread this out, the more that DOJ Bondi is going to be like, mother, guys, son of a, come on. And that's what we're chasing. At DOJ Pam Bondi, at AG Pam Bondi, at Braden LOA, at Harmeet Dillon, at AAG Harmeet Dillon. All of these things are possible. But make sure you guys send these things out. Follow me over on X so I can get in the fight with you. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share this out because the fight is on and we are not rolling over now. We have come too far. And I will see you guys on the next one. Have an amazing Friday, and the fight continues tomorrow.